Hello, you're with Libby from libbystamps.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. And I'm bringing you another little Easter treat basket today, and this one's triangular in shape. And what I've done on the front is I've used the Layering Squares Framelits dies. You could also use the Stitched Shapes Framelits dies and use the square one on the front. And I've used Circle of Spring and stamped in black archival ink, waited a few minutes for it to dry, and then I've just come in with my aqua painter and I've used Mint Macaron, Marina Mist and Peekaboo Peach and Crushed Curry for the centre of the flowers to colour that image in. So that's just one way you could embellish it. Now for the one we're going to make, I've actually already cut the scallop square and the plain square. I'm not going to adhere those today because I want to decorate them for this basket, but you get the idea of how you can embellish it. So this one's quite easy. The only tricky part is the triangle itself for the base. So you're going to need a piece of card which is 3 inches by 11 inches or 7.5 centimetres by 28 centimetres, and you're going to score that at 3, 6 and 9 or 7.5, 15 and 22.5. So we'll just come in and score. So 3, 6 and 9 or 7.5, 15 and 22.5. That gives you a nice bit here to adhere to your side. Then you're going to burnish those score lines with your bone folder and make sure all the edges are straight when it's burnished. Then we're just going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue, and on the short flap you're going to put a little bit of adhesive along the score line and a bit on the cut edge, and that's all we're going to use our multi-purpose glue for today. I use Surprise, so I usually use it for everything. Alright, and then you're just going to come in and close your triangle so it's adhered like that, so you can see that in there. This is the tricky part. I've already done this here, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to call this, where you've adhered the 2 pieces, the bottom, and I'm going to put a mark on that just with a pencil, just like that, and I'm going to put a mark on my bottom. I'm going to fit my triangle on like that, and I hold it down, I put a mark on one side, mark on the other side, and a mark at the point, and I join those lines up and I get a triangle. Then I need a 1/4 inch outside that triangle, so that's what this second line is. So I've measured a 1/4 inch outside the triangle, and then I'm just going to come in with my snips, or you could use your trimmer, and cut that triangle out, because that's going to be the base of our triangular bag. You're not going to see these marks when you put your bag together. Then I'm going to come in with my scorer, and I'm just going to score along these 1/4 inch marks that I've just made.
Hey, if you want to play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination.
And then before I go ahead and do anything else, these little bits here, the diamond shapes that you've got left, just come in with your snips and you're going to cut those out because we don't need them. So you'll cut all 3 of them out, then come in with your bone folder and you're going to burnish all those score lines really well, because when you put it into your bag, you need to have them burnished very well in order for it to fit. Then you need some tear and tape. Now, it's 1/4 inch wide, and you know, as luck would have it, sometimes your 1/4 inch is a bit less or more. So we're going to put the tear and tape on, and then we're just going to trim off any overhang.
Outside the line, let us see inside your mind. You'll find inspiration. All I'm saying is you can do it. I want to hear you say, I am independent. I am dedicated. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Yes, I am.
Now here comes the fun part. You're going to take the backing off your tear and tape, and I do that with my paper piercing tool.
I am in control. I am. Watch me go. Doing it my way, doing it my way. Can you hear me say?
Now remember the mark we put on this before, so this mark here, we're going to match that up with the mark we put on the inside of our bag, and you're going to squash all these sides in, and you're going to try and fit. As I said, this is the fun part. You just really need to fiddle till you find a method that works for you. So just squash it in, and remember all the edges have got to be up. So you just want to get it in, right, to start with, and then you're going to fiddle around with it once you've got it inside, and you're going to match the score line up with the edge of your basket. So that's one side done, and then you just need to do the other two sides. And yes, it sticks to your fingers, but your paper piercing tool will come in handy for getting your edges and things nice and even. So I just use my paper piercing tool to encourage these bits to go in. And if they stick before you need them sticking, your paper piercing tool can help with that too. So I'm just encouraging those bits in. Once you get the hang of putting the triangle in, it's quite a quick box to make. So then I'm just going to come along with my bone folder, and I'm just going to go right along those edges.
Yes, I am. The inspired destiny require every dream to believe. Take the chance.
Alright, so there's our base. So that's going to be the bottom. Nobody's going to see that. Then the join I'm putting to the side of one side of the basket, because you want a flat front so that you can put an embellishment or a greeting or something like that on it. So then you need a piece of card which is 8 inches by 1/2 inch or 20 centimetres by 1.3 centimetres, and I'm using glue dots for this, and so I use my bone folder on my handle just to give it a bit of a curve, which I find is better than forcing it into a curve. You get a bit more natural curve. So a glue dot on either end of your handle, and then we're just going to put the handle inside our basket on one side, about 1/4 or to 1/2 inch down, so, and then the same on the other side. And then we have our triangular basket. There's the one I did earlier, which is finished. So you could fit all sorts of goodies in those for Easter. Lots of little eggs, one larger egg and a few small eggs, all sorts of different things. Oh, and I've used Peekaboo Peach as my cardstock. So that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.
What is in your heart? Let the magic start. You're in charge. Yes, you can. What's the plan? Come on, let's do this and do it now. I want to hear you